Hi, this is Mark Oelze with Pledge Talk, and welcome to this week's Tune-Up Tuesday. Last month, we finished up the class entitled, When Overwhelmed, What to Do with Our Thoughts and Emotions so we can get back to peace. Life is often overwhelming, and when it is, we have a lot of thoughts and emotions swirling around inside us that often leave us confused, paralyzed, or just not handling life well. One of the challenges we face when this occurs is that we don't stop long enough to even acknowledge that we are feeling, let alone determine what we are feeling. Instead, we just try to push through or push past them and get on with our day. The emotions are largely ignored or buried, which leads to seemingly unexplained emotional reactions or physical distress at a later time. I want to say it's really important that we can name what we are feeling so we can begin to understand what we're feeling. This requires, however, that we stop, that we learn to stop to reflect and recognize what it is we're feeling and thinking. When you find yourself hurrying through your day, for instance, going from one task to the other, barely taking time to sit and eat or listen to someone who wants to tell you about their day, you just might be feeling a little stressed. When you don't want to be a part of group gatherings, it might be because of the result of feelings of insecurity or inadequacy. If you have trouble shutting off your mind when it comes to bedtime, you just might be having difficulties with worry. My question is, how often do you stop to reflect and recognize that you are stressed, or that you're feeling insecure or inadequate, or struggling with worry? How often do you stop to reflect and recognize that? And for the purposes of learning about our emotions, I would put all of these feelings in the category of anxiety. How about this? Do you find yourself easily annoyed at little things going wrong in your day? Someone didn't clean up the kitchen after getting out some food. The driver in front of you is going too slow. Your computer froze up again. Do you tend to snap or lose it with your kids or spouse or coworkers more than you care to admit? Do you have images of acting out your anger or throwing things or breaking things? Or worse yet, you actually do throw things or break things? Again, my question is simply, do you stop to reflect and recognize what's happening? And I would put all of these reactions in the category of anger. Or finally, when you experience boredom or emptiness inside, when you aren't very motivated, when it's hard to get out of bed in the morning, when nothing seems to whet your appetite, so to speak, even food, when you feel down, sad, gloomy, or hopeless, do you stop to reflect on what it is you're feeling? Are you able to recognize these feelings? Feelings now that I would put in the third category of emotions that I'm describing this time as depression. 3 categories of emotions that I've talked about: anxiety, anger, and depression. As I stated earlier, oftentimes we don't stop very long to note our emotions. We just push through them and hope they will go away on their own. I get it. I do it as well. Sometimes I just don't want to take time for them. I just want to get past them. In the long run, however, I find it far better for me to stop and take that needed time to reflect and recognize what it is I'm feeling, what the emotions are, where they stemmed from, and how they might be tied into my thinking and into misplaced hopes. For it is then that I start on a path of being able to process and even learn from my emotions rather than having them control me or make my life miserable. Well, thanks for listening. More in next week's Tune-Up Tuesday. This is Mark Oelze with Pledge Talk, and you can learn more and join us in class at community.pledgetalk.com.